Hi, I'm Beth Woodruff. I am with Ally Financial. I'm the Senior Director of Brand Strategy, Integrations, and Innovations, which also includes our gaming strategy.
How did Ally Bank first become attracted to the world of gaming? What makes Ally and video games, specifically women in the gaming space, such a good match?
Yeah. So to your first question, we've had a long history of being really involved in the gaming AR space for the past 7-8 years. We are the nation's largest digitally only bank, so we have a history only being digital, and we have a lot of authority to kind of play with that space since our beginning. But we've done everything from launch AR apps in support of the Super Bowl to having Fintropolis, which is our world in Minecraft that teaches financial education, to Animal Crossing during COVID. And more recently, we obviously just launched Ally Arena in Fortnite. And what we have seen is, especially after COVID, there just was such a groundswell for gaming and the gaming audience that was building their community around gaming, but also seeking their real identity around gaming. And the audience is so massive, so large, and they're so passionate. And I think that what we felt like was, from our brand perspective of being a digitally native organization, this Fortnite in particular had a really right space for us to come in and say, this audience of 18 to 34 who are looking for a financial partner, who are looking for an ally for their finances, they want to, we need to interject ourselves in the conversation and create really fun activations for them, or experiences for them in the gaming space, to introduce ourselves and hopefully create some affinity with this audience. Now, to your second question about women in gaming, this is really huge for us. So as an entire brand, we have a commitment. We've called it the 50-50 commitment, where we want to, by 2027, spend equal amounts on men and women's advertising in sports. And that's really intrinsic to our brand, this idea that we really want to focus on equity for women and men in sports. And we consider esports a huge part of that as well. So it was a natural evolution as we sort of built Ally Arena. We started a partnership with Rocket League as part of that as well, that we felt like this commitment really needed to extend to esports. And so much of what we've been doing is trying to create pathways for females in the esports and gaming space, but also create ways that we can amplify their gameplay, as well as understand their needs better to be a better brand partner to them. So it's a natural extension of what we already do in the world of in real life sports, like the basketball, soccer, all those things. But it is really taking that into the gaming space and figuring out, how can we make this space better for women?
Tell me about your partnership with Radiant and how it's helping Ally reach its goals in gaming.
Oh man, we have loved working with Radiant. Heather Garrazzo on that side of the house has been such a champion for us in making strides for women in the esports and gaming space. We worked with them as a production partner initially on our Ally Women's Open, which was our tournament for women in Rocket League. And it was amazing to sort of have women behind the camera as well as women in front of the camera, obviously as the stars of the show, it's part of the tournament. But I think it really opened a big door for us in that partnership, in that initial partnership of the Ally Women's Open, to understanding that there was so much more opportunity, that Radiant was working on so many more large scale things, and that we had so much to learn from them. And so they already have such a huge footprint in the space. Heather was the first female esports star to be entered into the Hall of Fame, Esports Hall of Fame. So she's got this credibility. She's built this authenticity with this audience. And we really wanted to partner with her and Radiant to sort of figure out, how can we make real impact for women? Now, after the Ally Women's Open, where we had the female-only tournaments, we heard from her and her team, after doing some of the legwork, that one of the biggest issues that the female gamers were having is that when they went to some of these big conferences or like events that they were having to do meet and greets with their fans in some places that maybe weren't very safe, or they didn't feel safe outside of bathrooms or meeting in random hallways to do meet and greets. They didn't have a place that was designated to do those things. So we really wanted to work with Radiant to identify a place where we can make them feel safe and really help them amplify the work that they're doing. So at both DreamHack and TwitchCon, we did it at DreamHack and we did it at RLCS in Anaheim. We created booths for these women to come do meet and greets with their fans. They had the opportunity to sign photos and stuff, but we also created a place where other female gamers could come and get headshots. So we know if what you're trying to do is really sort of amplify yourself and get that, we wanted them to have professional headshots. So it was this really great space where they could do a lot of interacting. We saw so much buzz on the floor about them being able to come and, you know, see some of the women that they idolize or some of their favorite streamers live and in person. And then those streamers and esports players felt really safe and excited that they had a place dedicated just for them in these big, you know, these big conferences, these big competitions.
Now that's a good segue to this next question. And then that's that, you know, we talk, you know, you're saying that streaming and esports can be less than safe environments. I don't want to go so far as to say toxic, but it can be that sometimes. So in what are some other ways that Ally and Radiant hope to help women navigate a potentially toxic landscape?
Ozzy, this is such a great question. It's one of the questions that we asked at our TwitchCon brunch in Las Vegas last week. One of the things that we really wanted to do was sit down, you know, we invited, you know, several dozen female esports and streamers to this brunch. And we basically had a great panel talk about how to like monetize yourself if you're trying to get into this space. But after that, we had a Q&A session where we broke out into small groups and we had representatives from Ally and our agencies sit down with each group and just listen. We really wanted to hear, what are the pain points you're having in this industry? How can a brand come alongside and help you? How can Ally help you as part of this? I was super interested, Ozzy, and one of the things that I heard in my breakout group was that some of the women did feel like they were seen as less than, or they did feel like they were getting trolled. And some of that they felt like was just by virtue of not being understood or being put into similar platforms as their male counterparts. And one of the things that I thought was a really great takeaway from my session was they said, you know, it'd be really amazing. The women's tournaments are great and we love those, but it'd be really even better if we could get some opportunities for, you know, these co-ed invitationals or co-ed sports tournaments, esports tournaments, where we're being paired up with males and we're being shown like our talents alongside men, and we're not susceptible as much to the trolls because maybe we're playing with their favorite male, player or something like that. So just kind of putting that equal footing to showcase their talent and their skills alongside their male counterparts, and not pitting each other against male versus female, but they're really on the same team trying to accomplish the same goal. And I love that. I love that what it was showing was that they feel like they, have the same skill set as their male counterparts. They just want a chance to sort of play alongside them and not always be segregated into women's only tournaments. But they also feel really strongly that it will allow the dialogue to be less maybe toxic when they're playing for a larger goal with their male counterparts. And those are some of the takeaways we Ozzy have of saying like, okay, well, how can we help do that at Ally? How can we use our influence, or how can we build programs to accommodate that? And that brunch was really meant for us to take some of those learnings and use that to build our 2024 plan. So obviously in everything that we do right now, we are trying to keep a very, with the Ally Women's Tournament, with what we did in our Bubble League tournaments, anything that we're doing where we're sponsoring, we're trying to be super, super mindful of the dialogue that's happening there and trying to keep everything as positive as possible. We're trying to monitor that as much as possible and certainly help make sure that we're not a channel for discord. But at the same time, we also want to create new spaces going into 2024 where we can help really put a Band-Aid on some of those really painful things that are happening, in the hopes that we can author some sort of new chapter in esports where women and men are playing side by side, and there is this sort of collective cheering for both of them. it shouldn't be either or, it should be and. They should be seen alongside their male counterparts.
And that's such a commendable goal, to try and bring men and women together in that co-ed environment. So with that in mind, we've talked about your work with Rocket League and your work at DreamHack. Are there any other specific games or competitive gaming scenes that you're looking to jump into next to try and push that mission of co-ed equality forward?
It's a great question, Ozzy. For us right now, we're so invested in really obviously keeping our Fortnite space up and running in Ally Arena, and making sure that we have opportunities to support female streamers through our Ally Arena. So making sure we have male and female streamers be part of the influencer plan that we have to support Ally Arena. But in the gaming space, specifically for esports, Rocket League is still a huge piece of our puzzle right now, and we're really putting a lot of energy right there. Obviously, we are, as a brand, have a soccer sponsorship with Charlotte FC, and then we also have a NASCAR partnership with the 48 car. So Rocket League is this really cool convergence of cars and soccer. So it really is a fun way to sort of bring our brand to life and have a little bit more brand affinity there. I would say that we're always open to continuing to explore different opportunities, but more than anything, we want to go where the consumers are. We want to create memorable moments for people who are looking for a new financial partner. We feel like that age range of the Fortnite player is really great for our potential customer demographic. We're really looking at that 18 to 34 from a brand perspective. We really think that's a sweet spot for us, as these viewers, streamers, players are all looking for a financial partner. We want to show up and show how we're different and that we're really supportive of their space. I should also say, Ozzy, we're really, really intentional about trying not to be disruptive to gameplay. We want to be additive. So much of what we're doing is trying to create unique experiences that feel really fun and exciting, but that don't take away or seem like a, please pause for this ad kind of environment.
You talked about the women in brunch, the women in gaming brunch at TwitchCon, and you talked about showing off the Ally Arena. What more can you tell me about Ally's TwitchCon experience as a whole? Like, did you get to make some valuable network connections? Did you maybe get to chat with a few people at Twitch or even at Twitch rivals to kind of push some ideas forward?
Yeah, we have a relationship with Twitch. We've been a brand sponsor there for a few years, and we really love, the ability to create dialogue on Twitch and having that massive network of streamers be really available. For us at TwitchCon, we did get to speak to a lot of the folks from Twitch. They actually came over to our brunch because they wanted to kind of experience what we were doing, which was great. The biggest takeaways for us were the female connections that we had during the brunch. So many of them, I think the event ended at 12 and people were there still until like 1:30, like really, really like they had not met one another, which is a lot of the point of what we were trying to do, is make those connections and kind of keep some ongoing dialogue. As always, it is so exciting to sort of reap the energy of TwitchCon and like be in that environment where people are sort of excited and doing new things. And I will just say, like, the creative expression at TwitchCon is one of the most exciting things for me. One of the things we really love about gaming in the gaming space is that people feel like they can be their authentic self, and nothing is more evident of that. Like when you go to TwitchCon and you're in and around the space, seeing people really feel like they can express themselves in their most authentic place, and it's welcomed and that people love it. So we feed off that energy. We really want to make sure that we're helping support that narrative, and that certainly we're part of the dialogue that's happening around there for good and for the betterment of esports and gaming.
Putting all the talk gaming aside, Ally is first and foremost a bank. So in what ways have you sought to teach the average streamer or the average competitive gamer about financial education and responsibility?
It's a great question, Ozzy. And our strategy currently with Ally Arena has been building some authenticity in this space. Like, so much of what we wanted to do was make sure this audience feels like we're not trying to come in and, give them overt brand messages all the time. We want to create really fun, unique gaming experiences that speak to them, that make them want to come back to our space. And the same is true with what we've done with Rocket League, like really showing up in places that feel like we're amplifying a really wonderful moment for them. Our next evolution will be to create more of those money moments within the gaming space. We've done really incredible work with, or at least I think, with Fintropolis and Minecraft. And, within the first 18 months, we had 3 million downloads. That's in the EDU system. So all of the schools that have the Microsoft program have access to our financial education world called Fintropolis. And that's given us a lot of really great learnings about how do we translate it in an authentic way to this space. That's obviously a much younger audience. So we want to make sure we get it right in this sort of like tycoon era of Fortnite, and making sure that we're doing it in a fun way that people feel excited. I think the other thing that we're really trying to be very cognizant of is how do we bring the dialogue around money to gaming in authentic ways. So I mentioned Heather Garrazzo earlier. We wrote an amazing article with her about how she makes money in gaming. So many streamers are sitting on the sideline thinking like, how can I do this? How can I monetize my skill or my passion? What we really wanted to do is show somebody who's done it and done it well. And we put a lot of amplification around that on Glamour, on Reddit, to really get that message out there so that gamers could see and know kind of the path to making money. And for us, that's half the journey, right? Like, how do we help you make money? And then once you make that money, how can we help you grow that money and keep it safe? So it's a much more organic process, Ozzy. We don't want to, I said this earlier, we don't want to interfere with gameplay. We want to be additive, and we want to show up in ways that really create impact. But it's going to breed a lot more credibility if we have a gamer speaking to a gamer on these things, like how to make money gaming and how to like protect and grow your money. So that's kind of our strategy. And we're really excited that we have amazing partners in this journey with us, and that we're using, having streamers talk about benefits of having an ally, and that we're a financial partner. We're doing a lot around making sure we partner with really credible and awesome influencers who get to use their voice to get this message across.
Beth, where can our viewers learn more about Ally's initiatives in gaming?
We would love for you to visit us at allyarena.com. You can get a rundown of what we're doing in Fortnite, but you can also see some of the streams that we have ready to go, as well as some of our other initiatives like Fentropolis, Animal Crossing. And just stay tuned, because we have so many cool things out there. We obviously just launched our NWSL mini game, and we're so excited to be able to support women's sports and have this really cool crossover between NWSL and Fortnite and Ally Arena. We'd love for you to sign up for email so we can keep you updated on what we have going on, but we hope you'll check it out and experience kind of all the cool things we have going in Ally Arena.